We start this evening taking a live look over the Clark Memorial Bridge, also known as the 2nd Street Bridge, and we're looking at the beautiful sun Alden just mentioned, and also some lane closures. It's been about 5 days now since the northbound lanes that carry traffic from southern Indiana to downtown Louisville have been closed for repairs. And even more closures are heading our way tomorrow. Tonight, we're hearing from southern Indiana businesses and commuters on if they're feeling any effects from a partially out of commission bridge. It's our top story here at 6:30. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Dieterer. WHAS 11's Connor Steffen and photojournalist Aspen Hester join us live right now from southern Indiana. And Connor, what are you hearing from people on these impacts?
So Alex, we've spoken with about a half a dozen businesses, and surprisingly, they say that this week the bridge closure has had very little impact on business. Though you have to assume that may change going forward heading into tomorrow. That is because that's when crews will set up temporary rolling roadblocks on the 2nd Street Bridge. So Monday's commute will start with a temporary closure of the entire bridge before traffic is constrained to just one southbound lane. That will be taking place between 9 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. Now, remember, the bridge's northbound lanes have been closed all week following that March 1st semi-crash. Commuters say it's been difficult getting around ever since.
Well, now I'm kind of forced to take the Kennedy. Of course, there's tolls involved in that, so that's been a little bit less, a little more unpleasant. And the traffic being funneled that way, there's a noticeable difference. Backs up to past probably Arthur Street.
That's what we've been hearing from commuters. More tolls, more traffic. So if you're trying to get around from Louisville to southern Indiana, you're either going to have to take the Sherman-Mitten or the Legion and Kennedy bridges. The repair project is set to be complete in early April. Until then, it's going to be a headache for commuters. We're live in Clarksville, Indiana. Connor Steffen, WHAS 11 on your side.
Thank you, Connor. And tonight, the East End Tunnel will be closing as well. That closure will only last through the night starting at 7 p.m. and should be reopened by 6 tomorrow morning. Motorists should detour to I-65 South or I-64 East and use the downtown Louisville bridges. Well, millions of people watched that dramatic rescue of the truck driver on the 2nd Street Bridge earlier this month. Now the company that owns that truck is giving back as a thank you. This week, Cisco made a $20,000 donation to Louisville Fire as a thank you for rescuing the truck driver that was suspended from the 2nd Street Bridge. The donation was made during a huge cookout for the firefighters sponsored by the food distributor. Cisco's CEO was in attendance expressing his gratitude.
I can't even begin to understand what this team behind us went through that day, the stress they must have felt. But we didn't see it, we didn't feel it. All we saw was a heroic, successful outcome.
Cisco CEO also confirmed there was dash cam footage from inside the cab that showed the crash play out. He says that footage is in the hands of LMPD as they continue their investigation. Well, the ongoing JCPS Transportation conversations continue this evening. This week, JCPS is planning to vote on how they'll transport students to and from school next year. The district released options for busing students next year that they're considering. Option 1 would cut all transportation for all magnet and traditional school students. In a survey sent out to parents on Thursday, JCPS calls this option the most equitable option, with the least negative impact on students of color. The NAACP, though, disagrees. Just today, they reaffirmed their opposition to the plan, saying it's not the best option for students. The organization says the district hasn't given parents and the community adequate time to respond and react to the plan, and parents we spoke with also agree.
It's just not the best option. So these kids that are in these magnet schools, they've made bonds.
Just for us to not be able to go there anymore, I feel like it was a waste of our time. We've grown bonds, we've grown like families at Central.
The board plans to vote on a transportation plan this coming Tuesday. Governor Andy Beshear has announced a new commissioner for the Department of Juvenile Justice. Longtime state corrections executive Randy White will now take up the department plagued by problems. White will take over the department, which has come under much scrutiny as the system struggled to quell violent outbursts at juvenile detention centers. This week, White spoke on the positive changes already made in the agency, and he also noted that Kentucky is not the only state facing challenges. White says to truly address the problems found in the facilities, they most have to focus on reducing the population.
For Kentucky to truly reduce the juvenile population, we must focus our efforts on alternatives to detention, education programming, employment, and mental health. Our juveniles need our support, and I pledge to do just that by prioritizing our efforts on reducing youth crime and recidivism.
Kentucky's juvenile justice system has struggled to house increasing numbers of youths accused of violent offenses. The result of this was a string of assaults, riots, and escapes, as well as incidents of abuse and neglect of youths at juvenile detention centers. In response to that, Beshear announced a series of policy changes, while state lawmakers appropriated more money towards raising salaries in the department.